seatbelts are fastened. Lou Williams for the win. Bingo!
Oh my goodness.
By Landry, Ariza dropped down. Kobe! Oh! Up high! Down hard! Kobe Bryant!
They do have a timeout. Decide not to use it. Curry, way downtown. Bang! Bang! Oh, what a shot from Curry! Kawhi aggressive to the rack.
What's going on, guys? Welcome to another post-game live here on Dime Dropper for the 2024-25 season. Before we get started, you already know the drill. Make sure you subscribe on YouTube at Dime Dropper and hit the notification bell so you know every single time I post a video. Hope you've been enjoying the vlogs I've been doing recently at the games. And you can also follow me on the Locked On Clippers channel for all things Clippers. Live from Los Angeles tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Loss for the Clippers tonight against the Oklahoma City Thunder. Going to be talking about that. I also did watch one of the Laker games that I missed and haven't talked about, so I'll be chiming in on that as well very briefly. But yeah, super chats are turned on. If you want to drop $1, a dime, any donation is appreciated. And of course, follow your boy on social media, Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Dime Dropper Pod. Rough loss tonight, ladies and gentlemen, but at the same time, Clipper Nation, it's the Thunder. And I know they just got the unfortunate news that Chet Holmgren is going to miss at least 2 months of basketball with that hip injury, iliac fracture, whatever. Yeah. So that's really devastating, especially considering that they're already missing Isaiah Hartenstein, former Clipper Isaiah Hartenstein, very beloved. We lost him for John Wall, as everybody remembers. But they have no centers. And even Jalen Williams from Arkansas is injured. So, they legit are going to be playing small ball for the foreseeable future. But they're a team that's good enough in terms of guarding the ball and making opposing guards uncomfortable that they might just be able to get away with it. And then we all know what they can do offensively. But this one was a loss for us, 134-128. I didn't expect us to win the game. Of course, they don't have Hartenstein or Chet. We don't have Kawhi. We have been playing good basketball lately, though, 4 straight wins. But the Oklahoma City Thunder are straight up, when healthy, for me, the best team in the West and one of the best teams in the league. They're 9-2 right now. They're 5-1 at home. So I'm not too mad. The thing about it is this game was a winnable game. Even though we were down by 20 points, we were able to cut it down to, I believe, 4 or 6. Somebody fact check me on one of my mods. If one of my mods is in here, how close did we cut it? You're down by 4, right? Down by as many as 20. But it starts for me with the turnovers. I think the turnovers and the free throws, those are 2 big factors as to why we've been legit just losing winnable games this season. Turn the ball over too much, and it starts with our best player, James Harden, and then the free throw situation. That lost us the game against Portland, and I think it's definitely a big factor in which we lost tonight. Now, I see a lot of fans on Twitter and complaining about refs, and I'm going to just say this. SGA is becoming one of the big foul drawers and foul magnets in the league. I don't think he's as egregious as some say, but that's just a personal opinion, not a fact. I think Luka Doncic just is more of a whiner because he complains on literally every single call, or every single bump. Anything that could be a foul, he's complaining. SGA does do some flailing. He definitely sells contact when he's being hand-checked or bumped. But I think I just like his process offensively more than a lot of these guys. He gets to the mid-range. He gets in the paint. He's got a great handle. He's got counters to everything, good footwork, very patient. So I just I'm a big SGA fan, and that just is beyond the fact that we drafted him. But 2 of the most egregious foul baiters in the league are on our own team, Norman Powell and James Harden. And while tonight OKC got the better whistle, they're at home. What do you expect? You know what I'm saying? The reason we lost, to me, is never going to be the refs. Especially not in a game like this, and especially when we have Norman Powell and James Harden on our team. I mean, for me, bar none, James Harden is the most egregious foul baiter in the history of the sport. It's not for me, it's not even a comparison. But he's on my team now, and everybody gets sensitive when I say these kinds of things, a lot of people, so I just try to keep him to a minimum. I'm trying to be nicer to Harden this year, even though I could be grilling his ass for the fucking turnovers and all the missed shots and his process when he misses those shots. But at the same time, I don't even know if we'd have a win without him, because offensively, I see what he does. You know what I'm saying? I'm not an idiot, but we need better from him if we want to be a little more secure. But like at the same time, guys, like look what we're asking the guy. 35-year-old James. We've got no one else that can really create off the bounce like that. Kevin Porter Jr., whose process is horrific. You want to talk about James Harden's process being bad sometimes in isolation? And when I say that, I just mean he dribbles too much and everything's like, you know, he doesn't move without the ball. And you know what I mean? I've already beat it to death when it comes to Harden over the course of his career and my time doing this show. But Kevin Porter's like, he just slows everything down, right? And he had some good stretches in this game, I'm not going to lie, on both ends of the floor. But I'm just saying that to show how limited we are in terms of actual ball handlers. And that was the reason why in the beginning of the game, we were really struggling because the Thunder's ball pressure was really strong. Their defenders, their guards are athletic. They're young. They get right into their man. Guys like first of all, Lou Dort gets away with a lot, by the way. But that's, you know, the very good defenders seem to always get away with more. Like, I feel like the guys like Tony Allen and who's another guy that I remember there was someone I kept saying gets away with so much. PJ Tucker at times, I believe. I used to say he got away with a lot. But anyway, it just that's how it goes. But Lou Dort, sometimes it's borderline dirty from him. But we got to be better with the ball. We're coming up the court, getting loosey-goosey. Now, before the game, my first thought and many Clipper fans' thoughts when we heard that starting lineup, which was, by the way, Jalen Williams, J-Dub, essentially playing the 5. It was him, Lou Dort, SGA, Isaiah Joe, and Aaron Wiggins. Aaron Wiggins, by the way, has really impressed me this season. He's averaging 10 points a game on 48% from the field and 47 from 3, and it's shown me a lot off the bounce, you know, attacking closeouts and stuff of that nature. Some really impressive shots that I've seen throughout the season from Aaron Wiggins, and I've seen glimpses of that the last couple of years, but now seeing him start, appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Now seeing him start, though, you're seeing more of what he can do. So he's a pretty impressive player. I mean, it's not just Chet, J-Dub, and SGA with these guys. I mean, Isaiah Joe can shoot the lights out. Aaron Wiggins, pretty versatile player. And, of course, they got Caruso off the bench. Cason Wallace, really great on-ball defender. He's one of those guys that puts a lot of ball pressure on players. And the Clippers, we do not do very well right now with teams that put a lot of pressure on the ball because we straight up just don't have the ball handlers. It puts a lot on James Harden. And it's very rare this season, Clipper Nation, that we are going to look like the team that has not less athleticism, but less defensive pressure. But this just happens to be one of those teams. They're just better than us. It's kind of that simple. They're younger. They're more athletic. We have gotten younger. We have gotten more athletic, but we're not quite at that level. You know what I'm saying? It's really that simple. But yeah, I thought we were before the point I was trying to make about that small ball lineup was what's our advantage there? Ivica Zubac. Feed Zoo, feed Zoo, feed Zoo. Now, one thing that I figured could happen was they're going to double hard and focus on their speed in rotation since they have a smaller lineup to get out in scramble mode and make the Clippers, you know, work harder for good shots. And that's exactly what they did. But I thought our process when it came to even getting Zoo the ball was horrific. And I don't think it has anything to do with coaching. It's one, we got to be stronger with the dribble. James Harden's got to be more secure with the ball, for one. He's the number one guy on this team, the guy that's going to have the ball in his hands a ton. He has got to be better with the ball. He had 5 turnovers in this game, and going into it, he is averaging 5 a night. That is a career high. I know his usage is high, but there's no era and no player that you can excuse having 5 turnovers a game. I'm sorry. No matter how much he has the ball in his hands, he's got to be better. Then, I mean, by the way, and it's not just James Harden tonight. Ivica Zubac was not very strong with the ball. And here's the thing. I've talked about the post touches with Zoo, right? How is he going to get better working out of those double teams? By getting fed the ball and consistently having reps against double teams. You can't just see him turn the ball over a lot and go away from him. For the longest time in this game, he was 2 for 2. He had 4 turnovers, and I understand why we'd go away from him. But the alternative that we were running was just ISO with James Harden and KPJ. Because here's the thing. A team like the Thunder that's going to go small is going to switch on every screen, off ball and on, to try to minimize your advantages, right? So Norman Powell, being that he's not a crazy creator with the ball in his hands, even though we've seen more from him this season, he is not getting, clean looks coming off that screen, coming off screens, coming off that curl. It's not the same. So it's a lot more, especially because the Thunder have such good on-ball defenders. So we just weren't getting much good stuff in that first half. I thought our entry passing to Zoo was poor, but I thought Zoo did a poor job sealing. Look, man, you have a smaller guy behind you. You cannot let them get around you. Point blank as a big man. He was letting them get around him too easily. And he, when he was putting the ball on the floor with his back to the basket, he just wasn't seeing the floor great. But I also think that we weren't doing a good enough job spacing the floor. Guys were in the lane when it was already clogged. We should only have one cutter, in my opinion, when you have a guy posting up. Everybody else should be spaced outside the three. And we just had moments of bad spacing that caused turnovers. But Zoo also has to be a bit more patient. Look, they might bring a guy over. The best double team to make to a post-up player is from the opposite corner, because it's tough to throw the cross-court pass. And if you pass it, back out to the entry passer, and then you try to swing it all the way around till it gets that open man, by that time, the guy that was double teaming might already be recovered. And that was happening a lot. Or I shouldn't say a lot, but it happened a couple times tonight, right? We fed the ball to Zoo. He instantly gets doubled. He can't see the cross-court pass in the post. He's not Jokic, right? That's not easy to do. He passes right back, and then we start swinging it around, and they were so quick they got out there, right? How do we do a better job of going about that? Well, I think with one thing we can do is Zoo's got to be a little bit more patient, because when he gets the ball and he's doubled and he sees it coming, because sometimes he did see it coming, and he holds the ball up high, it's pretty rare that these teams are taking it away from him when he puts his arms up and holds it up high. I think that's a lot of what Jokic does, right? He sees the double will come, he'll put the ball up high. Now he's putting more onus on his teammates to either flash, cut to the basket, or stay space. He's seeing the floor a bit. So I'd say, not to rush the pass, one. And then two, and I'm saying when he sees that double coming, because there were times where he didn't see that double coming and he lost the ball. But when he does see it, I think he could be a little more patient. The second thing is pass out and repost. I think what we could also do is when Zoo gets the ball and we see that double coming from that opposite baseline, throw it back out to the entry passer, and then Zoo work even harder to get deeper post position, good old-fashioned repost, but the guy who catches the ball, just look off to that corner to send that man back that way. Because remember, he still has to flirt with that defensive 3-second violation if he's coming from that weak side baseline. So that's one thing I think we can do. Fake that pass, go right back after Zoo's worked for better post position on that repost. That's one thing that teams just don't do and guys just don't do anymore, and it shocks me. But it doesn't shock me because it's not a post-up league anymore, is that pass and repost. Blake Griffin actually wasn't too bad at that. But to me, the best I've ever seen at it is Shaquille O'Neal, the pass and the repost. He just, and in the second half, I think that's what we were seeing was Zoo working harder off the ball for post position, and also us getting up the floor faster. We get up the floor faster. We don't have the ball pressure that's, making the pass so much tougher. And then we can get the ball to Zoo on rim runs and just semi-transition kind of stuff. But I also have to say, besides the early turnovers, who wasn't great? Terance Mann. It's gone to the point where I feel like every single mistake he makes is being magnified. Feels like there are, certain people on social media that are just kind of going at his neck. And I know he just got paid and he's got to be doing better. He's got to be doing better. But man, it just feels, it's hard for me to watch as a Terance fan, as a Clipper fan, loves the guy. And it's just a lack of confidence. And this is when I knew it's really bad. Because I always have faith in Terance. He's going to bounce back. But he was literally on a fast break running the floor. And he passed up a layup or a dunk in transition. When does Terance ever pass up layups and dunks in transition? I've seen him pass up putback dunks, putback layups. But in transition, that tells me how hesitant, how scared he is to shoot right now. And when I was talking about that spacing when Zoo turned the ball over a couple of times, there's been several times this season where Terance is just cutting and staying in the lane unnecessarily because it's almost like he doesn't want to space. He doesn't want to catch the ball for an open three. It's very psychological. And I'm sorry, and I love Terance, and I'm always going to back him for life. But it makes me concerned that, this is year 6, and we're still having these confidence conversations about shooting the ball as if he's a first or second year player. And defensively, I think he's had some good games this season, but there's also been some games where he's just been out there. And tonight, I think, was one of those games. It was disappointing, and I was scared for him, in that watching that first half because I'm just like, he's not doing enough. Some positives, though, that first half. That first quarter at least. James Harden, I thought, had some good pep in his step. Got a couple nice blow-bys. He even blew by Alex Caruso once. Didn't finish, but if you blow him by Alex Caruso, you're doing something right because he's a hell of a defender. James and I talked about this like 2 years ago before he was in on the Clippers, but he just doesn't have that same elevation at the rim, so he does not finish through contact the same way he did. I also think it was weird that we went to that zone that Ty Lue likes. That's like a 2-3 zone, but Zubac is on the wing and not down low in the middle in the paint. Somebody tell me why. I still haven't figured out an explanation as to why Ty Lue runs that zone with Zoo not in the middle. There's got to be some strategic component to it that I just don't know or haven't thought of. And by the way, after the first couple of turnovers, Ty went away from Zoo so quick in that first quarter. And I thought we had a decent stretch with that small ball in the beginning of that stretch when we took Zoo out. Derrick Jones Jr. made 2 threes. But I don't think we can play small ball against the Thunder and actually win at their own game. You know what I mean? I don't see it. But anyway, coming up, going to talk more about the second half, how we went down by so much, and also how we came back. First, a word from Mint Mobile, who this video is in partnership with. Ever wanted to cut back on your monthly bills? You've got health insurance, you got different kinds of insurance, you got your TV, cable, you've got your phone bill, you got your electricity, and you want to cut down, simplify that. Well, that's why I'm so intrigued by Mint Mobile, who this video is in partnership with. They offer premium wireless for just $15 a month. I can get high-speed data and unlimited talk and text on the nation's largest 5G network. I can even bring my own phone along with my current phone number and existing contacts, so I'm not sacrificing anything. I've used Mint Mobile, and the thing about Mint Mobile is it's not hard to switch your service. Big Wireless wants you to think it's hard, but it's really not. Switching to Mint is super easy. Thanks to digital eSIM cards, which most phones now have, you can sign up and activate immediately right on your phone from the comfort of your home. If your phone doesn't have an eSIM, Mint will ship you a new SIM card for free. So if you want to save little money without the sacrifice, go to https://trymintmobile.com/dimedropper. That link will be in the description so you can get started. Switching your plan takes as little as 15 minutes. That's Mint Mobile. All right, Clipper Nation, let's get back to it. So one of the best stretches of the game for me was that 8-0 run we had towards the beginning of the second quarter when we went from 24-28 down to up 32-28. And I can't lie, after a shaky start for KPJ, which Brian Seaman was acknowledging on the broadcast a good amount, KPJ was actually one of the reasons why we made that run. He was playing really solid defense. Like there was one play where he was way behind. I think he had fallen offensively, and he sprinted back and got a contest into the corner 3-point shooter, caused a miss. That was very impressive hustle from him. And he had some spectacular shots, some crazy floaters contested in that stretch. And then we had 5 straight points Oh, I'm sorry. He had 5 consecutive points. One of them was off a Nicholas Batum offensive rebound. I thought Nicholas Batum and Chris Dunn did a good job giving us that spark defensively and on the glass in that second quarter. Those guys they come in and just do what you ask them to do, huh? Chris Dunn had 8 assists in this game. 8 assists, which was obviously second to James Harden. KPJ did solid in that stretch for me. That lineup of Nico, Amir, Chris Dunn, Zoo, and KPJ looked pretty good defensively because you got a lot of athleticism out there, a lot of size that can switch. KPJ, when he's engaged like he's been this season defensively, he's a good athlete. So he's not necessarily a small guard at all. So you got KPJ, Chris Dunn, who's obviously a great defender, Nico, super long, can defend, and Amir Coffey, who's been very good defensively as well, and then Zoo protecting the rim. So you could feel Nico's impact on both ends. You could feel Chris Dunn's impact on both ends. But the Thunder had a 14-0 run off of a terrible stretch of turnovers. I talked about the bad spacing on Zoo post-ups, but several offensive fouls and just illegal screens, really killed our momentum. And they went on a 14-0 run. Thankfully, Chris Dunn hit 2 threes before halftime that made it so like we had a little bit of momentum going into it. And we had 15 first half turnovers. It's gonna be hard to win games when you do that. There were also times throughout the game where James Harden was being straight up double teamed at half court. Like they were just wanting him to get rid of the ball and wanting to make our other guys make plays, especially because we don't have great ball handlers. And I thought they did an okay job of that, better as the game went on. But for me, the first half, we just did not play through Zoo enough. We went away from it because he got a couple turnovers, and I think that's a little bit on the coaching staff. We just didn't play through Zoo enough for my liking. I know he had the 4 turnovers, but we let James Harden and KPJ handle the ball a ton, even though they turn the ball over left and right. Why can't we let Zoo, the guy who has clearly been fantastic for us on both ends of this season, work through his mistakes a little more? Because for me, in the second half, we started doing it, and the results were better. First quarter, the Thunder outscored us 25-24. Second quarter, they outscored us 41-29. So 41 points is a lot, and a lot of that is from turning the ball over. Now, in the third quarter, we gave them 41 points. Outscored them by 8 in the quarter. We went down 20, though. James Harden started to get going with his shot a little bit. Hit 2 threes. We had an 8-0 run because Zubac started to get going. We started throwing him the ball with him getting deeper post position. And again, a lot of that is playing a little bit faster, getting into our stuff a little bit quicker, being stronger with the ball. So then that pass becomes easier. And Zoo also working a little bit harder without the ball as well. And you got Norman Powell going. He was like 1 for 5. And slowly but surely, he started heating up, getting a little more aggressive, getting to his right hand, getting downhill. And had that crazy 3-pointer falling away in front of the Clippers bench in the right corner to end the third and make it a 94-99 game going in to the fourth quarter. 18 points in the third for Norm, which was huge. I also thought we were doing a better job of being more patient on that entry pass like I was talking about. Make that defender in the weak side corner flirt with that defensive 3-second violation. But yeah, we outscored them 41-33 in that third. And then in the fourth quarter, we got back in it, but we missed free throws. And then SGA got that call late. It was a very generous call. He got a lot of generous calls throughout the game. But then Harden on the other end, Lou Dort was fouling him a bit, but I don't know, man. He's got to play ball. I'm not hearing it with the excuses and then blaming it on foul baiting. We have foul baiting extraordinaires on our team. We missed free throws. We turn the ball over too much. You think you're going to beat a good team on the road when you turn the ball over 24 times? This is not feasible. The fact that we were even in the game is crazy. We lose it 134-128. It's our first road loss of the season. We shot 55%, which is wild. Thunder shot 52%. And we shot 54% from 3, 20 for 37. They shot 39% from 3, 18 for 46. But here's the big difference. We still, even with the foul baiting complaints or foul giving complaints, we took 6 more free throws than them. We took 29. They took 23. The difference is they missed 1 and we missed 9. So they shot 96% from the line. We shot 69% from the line. So there's the game right there. Turnovers and free throws. It's been the story this season, ladies and gentlemen. Clipper Nation. It's been the story. I don't know why I keep saying ladies and gentlemen like I'm not talking to Clipper Nation right now. 69%. Yeah, it's not good enough. The fact that it didn't even feel like we shot 55%. That 24 turnovers is crazy. And 32 points scored off of them. It's not good enough. They shot 11 more times as a result. We got outscored 35-34 in the fourth. We'll read the lines now. Cason Wallace was 0 for 6 in the field and 0 for 4 from 3. He had a donut. And the Thunder, they only got 20 points off their bench. Alex Caruso had 12 of them to go along with 2 rebounds, a steal, and a block on 4 for 7 shooting, 2 for 5 from 3, and made both his free throws. Then the starters for them, Aaron Wiggins had 10 points, 4 boards, 4 dimes, and a block. Just 1 turnover on 4 for 6 shooting and 2 for 4 from 3 in 29 minutes. So an incredibly efficient game for him. Isaiah Joe had 12 points, 3 boards, 3 dimes, 3 steals, and a block, and no turnovers on 5 for 12 shooting. But he didn't shoot very well from 3, just 2 for 8. But that's a really solid game for him. You know, every Thunder starter in double figures. And then Lou Dort, 19 points, 2 rebounds, 1 assist, 2 steals. He turned the ball over 3 times, though, but he shot 50% from the field and 3, and he had great defense throughout the game, even though he's allowed to get away with murder, but still had 5 fouls. 7 for 14 from the field, 4 for 8 from 3 in 35 minutes. And then the 2, Jalen Williams, is he going to be an all-star this year? He's got to play at a higher level without Chet, because Chet was off to a great start to the season, and now he's going to have to do more, J-Dub. 28 points, and also was guarding Zubac a lot and did a very solid job. So he's a great player. I think he's a great player, but if you go back to my lives last playoffs in the Thunder series against Dallas, at the end of the day, J-Dub didn't do enough to get that, win that series. He wasn't a good enough second option. He was also a sophomore. So got to be patient. This guy's going to be a star, whether it's this year or next year, he's going to be. 28 points, 8 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, 2 turnovers on 11 for 16 shooting, 2 for 3 from deep, and 4 for 4 from the foul line in 35 minutes. Really good game for J-Dub. And then the man of the hour, the former Clipper, SGA, 45 points, 3 boards, 9 assists, 5 steals, 2 blocks, and a turnover on 13 for 21 shooting, 4 for 8 from 3. And 15 for 16 from the line in 39 minutes. Incredibly efficient. I think it looks like he's shooting more threes so far this season. I haven't checked his stats yet. But the free throws, that's a lot of free throws. He makes them too. Great game for him. For us, we didn't even play Kai Jones tonight. We knew it was going to be a small ball kind of game. But again, I don't like that Ty Lue tries to match small ball for small ball instead of leaning into what we have. We had a 9-man rotation. Nico only played 12 minutes, and that's what shocks me is like you go small and then you don't play the guy that seems to be honestly the best for small ball is Nico with only 12 minutes. He had 3 points and 3 boards, an assist and a block. Did turn the ball over twice, though, and he shot 2 shots. Both of them were threes. Also, the turnovers were like this. I've been calling Nico out for this for a while. But if he doesn't shoot the 3, he doesn't shoot. Like he gets run off the line and he drives to pass. He's hoping that somebody comes and helps and he can kick it out because he doesn't want to go in and try to dunk on anybody. And he doesn't have a floater and he doesn't stop on a dime for the mid-range. And there was one time where he pump faked or someone, closed out hard, ran him off the line. He literally had a wide open like floater, mid-range, whatever he wanted, or he could attack the basket. But he's not going to try to go up and dunk on anybody anymore. And he kicked it out and got a turnover because everybody stayed home. That's something I've noticed from Nico before he returned to the Clippers. I was talking about this in the late stages of the 2023 season. But I still think we should have played him more. And then KPJ only played 14 minutes, but was good. in my opinion. 9 points, 1 rebound, 2 assists, a block. Did have 2 turnovers, though. And again, his process isn't good. It's a lot of ball pounding, and it just stagnates our offense. 3 for 6 from the field for him, 1 for 3 from deep, 2 for 3 from the foul line in just 14 minutes of play. Terance Mann. So he made a 3 in the second half, which I was happy to see. It was a big relief, and you could see Amir Coffey and Chris Dunn's reaction on the bench. They were very happy for him. But I still am just not getting enough from T. I don't think it's as big a deal as everybody's saying, though, unless you're talking about the contract, because right now he's not living up to that contract he just got, and it's making me look really stupid. I can't say that I've been right about this, but it's still only game 11. It's just annoying that we're having that same conversation that we had last year. That's the thing. Passing up layups. It's like, bro, we don't care if you go 0 for 10. Like, at least put the 10 shots up. Your teammates seem to believe in you. The fan base believes in you. The organization paid you. How could you not be confident? Like, how could you be so, unsure of yourself? 18 minutes for T, 4 points. Maybe he's seeing the slander on social media. I don't know. He's got to have a little thicker skin if that's the case. But I don't know. I'm always gonna keep it basketball. Let's not get personal. And by the way, I'm just gonna read a stat line first. 4 points, 4 rebounds, 2 turnovers on 1 for 3 shooting, 1 for 2 from 3, though. So there you go. 1 for 2 from the foul line. His free throw shooting hasn't been very good this season either, and it wasn't in preseason. But my thing is this. Terance Mann had a very good 2022 season. So this narrative that, that night, game 6 was the only night that he's ever played well or something, that's a complete hyperbole, and it's not accurate. 2022, he was fantastic, and a big reason why we were 42-40 without Paul George and Kawhi. Following season, he literally was great every time he was in, and we were all begging for him to start over Reggie Jackson or Marcus Morris. Begging for it. And then even before we got Westbrook, we were all into him starting. To say that he hasn't gotten better since 2021 is not true. But last year, I didn't see any improvement from the 2023 season. And this year, I'm seeing regression. That is scaring me. I'm a little worried about him. He's got to get it together. He's got to believe in himself. I believe in you, Terance. If anybody is watching this that knows Terance Mann, like, bro, I believe in you. We believe in you. Let it fly. It's okay to miss. It's okay to get blocked. It's okay to miss and get blocked 10 times. I also didn't love his answer about it's not my job to score and like getting frustrated at that question. It's like, bro, it's not about that. It's about you being a threat, right? And you know that. And I don't know, man. I still stand behind Terance to the end, but anyway. How about the brewmaster, Amir Coffey? He had a very solid game, in my opinion. 13 points, 3 boards, 4 assists, and a steal. He did turn the ball over 2 times. Chris Dunn was the only player that played minutes for us tonight that didn't turn the ball over. But Amir shot 50% from the field, 4 for 8, and 60% from 3 for 5, and 2 for 2 from the foul line. So 50, 60, 100 splits in 27 minutes. We'll take that all day long. Chris Dunn, very solid performance for me. 9 points, 4 boards, 8 assists, 0 turnovers on 3 for 6 shooting, 2 for 5 from 3. Got some unfair foul calls against him, but you got to love that. 50% from the field, 40% from 3. The free throws, though, man. Everybody's missing a free throw. And then you have Derrick Jones Jr., who I thought was phenomenal. So good on both ends of the floor. But the way he's shooting the 3 right now, as I said, if he can continue to shoot like this, he's one of the best role players in basketball. 20 points. 20. 5 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal. He turned the ball over 3 times, though. 8 for 13 from the field, 4 for 5 from 3, 0 for 1 from the foul line. He got 4 offensive rebounds, which is great. But anybody that's handling the ball that little should not be getting 3 turnovers. And then there's the big 3, so to speak. Zoo, 22-14, despite not even having a great game. So one thing about Zoo is even his bad games, he's starting to put up good stats. He's a walking double-double. I wanted him to get, 20 and 15 tonight. He was 1 rebound away. And we just didn't go to him enough in the first half. 22 points, 14 boards, 3 blocks. He didn't turn the ball over after the 4 turnovers in the first half, and he shot 9 for 12, 4 for 6 from the foul line. Then there's Norm, another 20-plus point game. That's 10 straight. He had 31 points after just, 2 in the first half? 31 points, 2 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 steals. He did turn the ball over 3 times, though. He was 10 for 15 from the field and 5 for 8 from 3 and 6 for 8 from the foul line in 37 minutes. He's been amazing. I think he could shoot better from the foul line, though. Then James Harden, 17 points, 11 rebounds, 9 assists. He was 1 assist away from a triple-double. His defense was putrid, though, outside of a couple of possessions one-on-one. It's been really bad, honestly, this season, and I didn't expect – it's been really bad the last couple of games, honestly. I didn't expect more, though, with how much he's carrying offensively. But the shooting, though, he shot better from 3 in this game, 3 for 7. And he was 4 for 5 from the foul line, but 5 for 15 from the field. Like, he's not shooting well in any of the games. And it's like, he can't finish around the basket well the same way because he's not getting off the ground like that. And his mid-range is just, it's okay. It's okay. He has to come to a full stop or he has to do that step back. He does not stop on a dime. And he does not get that same elevation. It seems like every shot's very well contested. And he's just stopped shooting mid-ranges for years. So, like, I don't know. And he starts every move from beyond the 3. So it's like, it's not like he's catching at the mid-range, jab step, just pulling. Which he's not shooting well. And we're going to need a little better. Unless Norm and Zoo just keep up playing the way that they're playing. If Norm can average 25, then maybe we can get away with this. But I don't know if he's going to average 25. I think he might average 22, 23. Harden. We don't know how long Kawhi's going to be out. He's got to shoot a little better than this and take better care of the ball. I'm going to still say he's been arguably our most valuable player. Paulie has been our most valuable player, him or Zoo, even though Norm's been great. I think they're more indispensable, but he's got to be better shooting the ball. He's bricking left and right. And Terance has got to be better, point blank. But yeah, I mean, we lost at OKC. Like, I'm not mad about that. So 6-5 on the season. We'll take it. We're fine. Playing Houston next. I watched some of their first couple of games or caught highlights of their first couple of games, but haven't the last couple of games. We can beat them, but it's going to be a tough game. It's going to be a tough game, and it's a big one because we know about the Houston situation. They're in the in the OKC trade thing where if whoever's the worst out of OKC, Houston, and us, OKC takes that pick. So unless it's top 10 protected, Houston is top 10 protected. So we want the Rockets to be good, but not better than us. That's the dream scenario. 134-128 is the final. The Rams also lost, and it was Monday Night Football, and I didn't watch the game too much because, I'm watching the Clippers. But it's so frustrating because we're playing against a shitty Dolphins team, and we're 4-4. Every game counts with how tight this NFC West is. And, our O-line looked garbage. Matt Stafford didn't look good. Our secondary, every time I watch the game, our secondary is getting lit up. Sean McVay was getting roasted on Twitter tonight. I mean, just a brutal loss. 23-15. It's just tough. It's not a good day for me in terms of sports. I wanted to end by talking a little bit about one Laker game I watched, which was actually 2, the game against the Cavs and the one at Toronto. So the game against the Cavs, the Lakers, they could not stay in front of the ball, and that's one thing I said was going to be a problem for them, especially without Jared Vanderbilt, is you're asking Austin Reeves to guard the best. You're asking Austin Reeves to guard the best guard on the opposing team. And that's a lot for him. So Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, they're blowing by. Anthony Davis is coming to help. Missed shots. Jared Allen and Evan Mobley are putting it back up and in, or they're rebounding a miss and putting it back up and in or getting the pass. So, yeah. they were just getting lit up. I don't even know what else to say. And then they were taking a very ill-advised threes just like early in the shot clock. And then they went the next quarter or two barely shooting any threes. So it was just a weird game for them. Cleveland destroyed them. LeBron had an efficient game, but I mean, he turned the ball over a lot, and it just wasn't a good game for anyone. Cleveland, they've been really good so far this season. And I did say that people were sleeping on them. I did say that before the season. If you check out my season preview, my Eastern Conference preview with the 4 sportsmen, and then my individual Western Conference preview, I gave predictions of where everyone's going to be. And even though I didn't say Cleveland would be first, second, or third, I said that people were sleeping on them because they're natural continuity and young players. And you got to give Kenny Atkinson a lot of credit. He's taken over that job. He's done a great job so far from taking over JB Bickerstaff. But a lot of it's just like Evan Mobley and Darius Garland were not the finished article, and everyone's acting like this team is peaked. They should trade one of the bigs. They should trade one of the guards. Sometimes, in today's NBA, continuity is just not something that is very prevalent because the new CBA, players just aren't as loyal as they once were. Everyone's getting paid super handsomely and looking for that best contract, because that's the reason why. And then teams are also blowing it up quicker. So you just don't have the same level of continuity as before. So 3 years of being with a core staying together the way Cleveland has, that's pretty good. So good win there for the Cavs. That's 2 straight losses for the Lakers. Then the next game I watched was their game at Toronto, where they started out looking really good. They were doing all the right things. They're just better than Toronto. There was no Manuel quickly in this game. Obviously, no Scotty Barnes, unfortunate injury that he's going to be out for a while with. But everybody was doing a great job defending, and LeBron was scorching hot from 3 to start the game. And then Anthony Davis, super aggressive as well. They were up by like 26 points and were in cruise control the entire first half. Then the second half came around, and they just got a little complacent. And it was that same problem, not doing a good enough job staying in front of the ball. Guys like Davion Mitchell were starting to get off. RJ Barrett, by the way, off to an incredible start to the season. When he's getting to his left hand, he's looking automatic. There was even one time where he got LeBron on a switch, and he went hard right and got an and one. So I was pretty impressed with that. But the Lakers just took their foot off the gas pedal, made it harder than they needed it to be, but ultimately got the job done, and AD and LeBron were magnificent. I've seen LeBron set more off-ball screens, I feel like, in games this season than I ever have. So kudos to him. They're starting with a lot of sets with AD at the high post, and then LeBron will set a down screen for D'Lo or Austin Reeves to come up. So getting into their motion that way. And credit to Redick, even though I don't like him. That's some good stuff. So Lakers 4-2 after that game. I still haven't watched their loss to the Pistons. I'm going to watch that. And I'll talk about that and the other games on basketball and Figueroa. But that's it for me tonight, guys. Rams with a loss. Clippers with a loss. Sucks. Absolutely sucks. But I appreciate you guys as always. Oh, and by the way, this episode is also brought to you by DraftKings. The NBA is finally back. A new season means new ways to get into the action at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NBA. Who's draining threes beyond the arc? Who's crashing the boards and grabbing rebounds? If it's Zubac, get behind your favorite players in the prop bets you can make on DraftKings, the home of NBA player props. First time, new DraftKings customers bet $5 to get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Every point counts with DraftKings Sportsbook. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code ABTV. That's code ABTV for new customers to get $200 in bonus bets when you bet just $5. Only on DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY. I'm so dumb. HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boost Hill Casino and Resort, Kansas, 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in New Hampshire, Oregon, Ontario. Bonus bets expire 168 hours after issuance. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co. com/bball.